you will learn exactly how I color grade this clip step by step. So by the end of this video, you know exactly how to color grade it yourself. I was also struggling in the past to color grade S-Log3 footage, but since I've been fine-tuning my power grade for Davinci Resolve, my workflow and consistency have greatly improved. You will be able to download the raw footage together with the power grade. Let's dive in. So where can you find it? If you go to my school community, link in description, you can go to the classroom here, editing section. Here you can find the raw footage, for example, the McLaren clip, which I have already here. And you can also download the power grade. It will look a little bit weird, but that's normal. It's a DRX file, which I have already here. If you don't want to download the power grade, you can simply recreate this node tree. Now we go to the color grade page, then we open the gallery, power grade, and here you can simply drop the power grade. Then I'm gonna open the nodes section, and you can simply drop the power grade right here. Don't panic, it looks crazy, but it's actually pretty easy. I will walk you through step by step. I'm gonna select them all and I'm gonna turn them all off. And we can start one by one. I'm not gonna use the denoise, and then we go over to the color space transform. So I'm gonna reset it so you know exactly what's going on. I'm going to the effect step right here, color space transform, and I'm gonna drop it onto it. Then here you select your own camera settings. For me, that's Sony S-Gamut 3 Cine S-Log3. Here I'm going to put ARRI Wide Gamut 3, and I'm gonna put ARRI Log C3. I'm gonna reset the node right here. Then we go to RGB mixer, and then we're gonna set it instead of 1.0 to 2.0 for red, green, and blue. That brings us to this. And then I'm gonna pick here a LUT, but let me reset it. LUT, film looks, the bottom one, D65. These three nodes here, they go all together. They go hand in hand together. So CST, saturation, LUT. And then we're going over step by step the next nodes. And I will show you what to do. White balance, this one is a pretty easy one. We reset it. For me personally, if we look at the image, it looks a little bit too gold. So I'm gonna simply drag slightly the temperature here to about 250, 270 minus, so to the blue side. For me, this looks nicer. I like it a little bit colder. If you want it a little bit warmer, you can just increase the temperature a little bit. I usually just slide from left to right, like exaggerate it, and then I see kind of where I want to land my white balance. This is for me the easiest way to do this. We are going to reset the exposure tab. Here I'm not gonna change too much at this point because I will come back later to this node, but I do want to kind of decrease the highlights here. They are very bright. I usually like to use the highlights slider right here, so I'm gonna drag it down. Again, I'm gonna exaggerate, and then I'm gonna bring back to where I want to land. So here you can see the sky is getting nicely blue. So let's try to set it at about -50. And I'm gonna keep the rest untouched for now, because this S-curve, the vignette and the gradient will strongly change the image. You will see it in a moment, and then I will come back to the exposure if necessary. So here we have the S-curve. As you can see, I'm gonna reset the node. What I'm gonna do here in the curve step is I'm gonna set a dot right here, here, and here. And then I'm gonna slowly decrease this dot here, like drag it to the bottom, but not too much. And this will give back that nice contrast in your image. That kind of looks good, but now we see that our orange is a little bit oversaturated. I'm gonna fix that in a moment, and our blacks going a little bit too black. So we are going back to the exposure tab, and then we're gonna see here we are losing some detail here. So I'm gonna bring up the lift, let's say to about 3. Here looks good. We can always come back to it later. And I'm gonna just increase gamma midtones by 1. I'm gonna lower still the highlights a little bit. If I look at the image, the grass here is kind of too greenish for me, so I want to give that more into the orange vibe for the grass. And the orange of the car kind of looks too saturated for me, so we're gonna desaturate it a little bit. So here, I'm gonna reset it. Let's start with the grass, actually. This is the grass. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to the curve step right here. Then I'm going to the hue versus hue. Here we can kind of change the color of certain colors. So I'm gonna pick here the grass, and then you will see a selection right here. I'm gonna widen the selection a little bit. And then you can go up or down to change the colors. So I want it more, not the bright green, but I'm going for a more yellowish look there, just a tiny bit, not too much. All small changes will add up to something more. That's about it. And then we are going to reset this node. I'm going to name it car. We're going to stay in the same tab here, but we are going to move over to hue versus saturation, so we can select a color and desaturate a specific color. So now I want to desaturate a little bit the orange, so we're going to pick it. And then I'm slowly going to lower the saturation. So just a little bit. I might want to widen our selection here a little bit. Something like this looks good for me. So with these two small changes, we go from grass and desaturation in the orange. It's just subtle, but that looks better for me. So we go to this. Now, if you want, you can, for example, also desaturate a little bit the reds, make it a little bit softer. I'm not going to use the glow today and either a third layer, so we're going to move over to the vignette. The vignette for me is very, very powerful, and I use it probably 95% of the time. So this is before vignette. This is after a pretty strong vignette. You can always change it. And here, if you go to the Windows tab, you can select any shape. So let's say we choose the circular one. Let's make it a little bit bigger. And you can also make it smoother, like the edges, by dragging the pink dot. That will make it harsh. Like this, you can soften it out. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger, a little bit more centered to the car. Let's say if your car is here, you can always put it here or wherever you like. So I'm gonna set it over the car. If you have your window selected right here, you can go back to the color wheels, and usually I just use the offset to darken the edges. Normally it's at 25, and I'm gonna drag it down to about 10, whatever works for you. Just play with the sliders and see what looks good. Same for the gradient. So this is with the gradient off, with the gradient on. You can change the position. You can also make it crooked if you have another type of image, but I'm gonna leave it like this. I might want to soften it and bring it down, and then go to offset a little bit, and then this is what it looks like. So this is without the gradient and the vignette. Oops, and this is with the gradient and the vignette on. So as you can see, our eyes are more drawn to the center of the image, to the car, which makes it look, for me personally, much, much, much better. Then I have a tab here called the blacks. This is where I desaturate the blacks, trying to make the blacks look more black, if that even makes sense. So how do I do this? Let's start from 0. We have here our wheel. Then I'm going to the qualifier tab, to the cube 3D right here. And then I'm going to select a part of the black. If you cannot see it, you can hold Shift H. And then you can sort of see your selection. Then we are going to the curve step. And then we are going to set versus set, saturation versus saturation. Put a dot here and then drag down the saturation from the black part. It's a minor detail, but still it works pretty well for your overall image. So you see here we go from the bluish black to a more actual black. So bluish black off, turned on, it will be nice black. Halation I'm gonna skip. I almost never use it. And then I have sharpening node to slightly sharpen your image just that little bit to give you that extra crispiness. Reset the node, go to the blur tab right here, and then I'm gonna just lower the sliders to about 0.47. Don't overdo this because it will look terrible. So here you add blur, here you sharpen it. So 47, 48 works just fine. If you still struggle for filming, color grading, editing your car videos, and you want to level up fast, then you can join our exclusive automotive videographer community where we do weekly live calls, live color grading, live editing. Any questions you might have, we solve them right there. It's a group of like-minded people who are on the same journey or who have already done the journey before you, so it's perfect for you to learn. It's free to try it out. If you like it, you can stay. If you don't like it, you can check this video where I show you exactly how I film and edit cinematic car videos.